And then I do have Auto-Tune Pro that if something's really wrong, or usually with Melodyne, if it's just like, hey, it's not tune tight enough yet, and that's the complaint. So I go in with Auto-Tune and really nail something to the line, you know?
Yeah. Have you upgraded to Melodyne 5? I know this is like super like niche down, but like I'm just curious if it's worth the upgrade.
I have not. I stick with the basic version of Melodyne because it does what I need it to do, and I paid all that money for Auto-Tune. You know, like if I needed to really dig into a vocal file, I'm pulling Auto-Tune out and going to the graphical tune mode.
So you're using like just like the basic element of like Melodyne 4.
Yeah. Yep. The most basic.
Dope.
Actually, if I bought it, it would have been super recent. I have the essentials, the Melodyne essentials. Like I can do single monophonic lines and cut and move things. So I actually might have 5. I haven't noticed a difference in what I usually do in Melodyne, which is why I can't remember if I bought it or not.
Okay, cool. No, 5 recently just came out. So I have 4, but I have the full version. And I guess the main benefit of that is you can just like easily switch between the different channels. So if you're tuning, let's say 10 channels at a time, it's rather than opening up the plugin on each one, you could just like switch between them within that window.
That's pretty awesome. I will say with the ARA, being able to click, I can just click from one track to the next and it pulls up the next one's Melodyne. So it probably wouldn't speed up my workflow too much. But if I didn't have ARA, that would be huge.
So it sounds like Studio One has other like built-in benefits that like make you like don't even really need more than the basic Melodyne. Whereas with Logic, you would need it.
You would definitely need it. Yeah. Yeah, that's why Studio One. Plus, Studio One has that arranger function. If you're producing or working on a track, you make a verse, and then it's like setting markers, but you set the arranger, like this is the verse section, and if I want to copy it over, I just option click, drag the verse to the right, and it copies everything under that section. So you can build a song super quick if you make a verse and a chorus, and then you just want to copy it over and change minor things. Rather than going through every track and copying everything and trying to get it to line up.
Sounds cool. I think Logic might have that, and I just haven't even used that feature because I know they have like a range version versus like a marker version.
They're so similar.
I haven't dug deep enough. Yeah, it seems like it's like kind of like a good bridge between Logic and Cubase, which is also supposed to be like super deep.
There's a lot of great DAWs, man. You really can't miss because the competition's so fierce. Everybody's copying each other and getting all the good stuff in. You know, I haven't tried Pro Tools in 3 years, but I'm sure they're trying to catch up as well. It's just these other ones that, you know, like you said, Logic and Cubase and Studio One, they just have, I don't know, they just have a modern way of thinking when they're making the changes in their DAWs that it's hard to not want to switch to one.
Yeah, dope. Dude, thanks for that insight. Thanks for clarifying some things about Studio One for us. Do you have any practices to stay fresh and creative in the studio? Like, you know, we all have days where we just don't even want to get in there and work. How do you stay fresh?
I would say I have 2 things that I do. One is I've mentioned before when it comes to songwriting. The second that I feel like I'm really dying, you know, and I can't come up with anything, I'll ask somebody to write with me because I don't know, just having somebody else in the room, like a lot of the times I'm the one that's putting the block on myself, and it's as simple as somebody going, oh, well, just do this here. And then it's like they remove the speed bump and now I can just keep on going. You know, it's usually one thing that stops you on, you know, I don't know what the lyrics should be. I don't know if that bridge should be there. And then you just give up. But writing with people and working with people, getting somebody's opinion helps me a lot. And the other thing that I do is I change where I'm writing. I spend so much time in this room, sometimes just being here, I feel like it just puts a clamp on anything I could be trying to do creatively. So I'll go take my guitar down to the living room or my computer, you know, to the bedroom and try to work on stuff. Also, even just cleaning this room sometimes helps free up my mind. Usually, if I'm stuck, it's because my room's too messy. Something my wife has taught me.
I think you're hinting something here, you know.
Oh, no, your room looks fine, man. Look at all this. They got papers on my piano and crap everywhere.
Your camera's like looking down, you know. My camera's looking up away from the mess.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, live your life, man. I'm as messy as they come, but I have ADHD and my wife has OCD, and she's slowly bringing me back to some semblance of cleanliness.
Oh, you guys will balance each other out.
Yes,
that's
we do.
Awesome. Nice. So what are some of your other favorite creative tools that you find yourself using all the time to help inspire your work?
I love Splice. I love going in when I'm just trying to come up with some new idea and not even selecting just hitting random on all the samples in one shots and just scrolling through until something sounds cool, pull it in and try to build an entire song. There are actually 2 songs on the record that we just put out, Didn't Want to Get This Lonely and Autopilot Mind, that were built entirely around one loop that I found that I thought sounded cool. And then the other stuff, I have electric guitar, acoustic guitar, I've got this Nord, and then I love Omnisphere and the Arturia plugin collection. Usually, if I just bounce around in the Arturia stuff long enough, I'll find a sound that I'm just like, ooh, I should write something that this is the feature today. So
nice.
Yeah, and then the last thing for writing, there's this website called Blind Write that you set how long you want to write for. I'll usually set 20 or 30 minutes. And then for the entirety of that length of time, whatever you're typing, it shows that you're typing something, but it doesn't show you what. So you can't get stuck on the lyrics you already wrote. You have to just do this like stream of consciousness typing. Whoa. And then after 20 minutes, the veil lifts and shows you everything you wrote. I've written a couple of songs pulling a ton of pieces from just, because you just write and you let it go and you have to move on to the next thing. I love that website and it's free.
Wow. Thanks for that tip.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's super cool. Wow. So, dude, I think let's move on to the new segment where we kind of distill one of your tracks. You sent me a song called "Fortune Teller" from your new record with Nearly York, and you actually sent me 2 tracks. This is the first time this has happened. You sent me like an introductory demo, like towards the beginning of the process, and you sent me the final file. So I think let's listen, if we don't mind, we'll listen to maybe like 90 seconds of each, and then we'll kind of dissect what went into it. I think I'm going to name this segment The Sauce, because this is where we find out what the secret sauce is. Which the podcast was called Secret Sonics because I was like, let's get to the secret sauce of how people do their productions, which is so stupid when I'm saying it out loud. The sauce is going to
have to be your that's got to be the follow-up to Secret Sonics. I don't know. I love that name, man. The sauce? Yeah, I don't know.
Let's call it The Sauce,
that's
right?
Your DJ name or something. I don't know.
You're listening to K1053, The Sauce. All right. New radio show starting now. Okay, so I'm gonna check it out. We're gonna listen in. I'm gonna listen in real time, and you're gonna like have a look at me just bouncing my head and stuff.
Heck yeah!
And then we'll dissect it. So this is "Fortune Teller" by Nearly York, and this is I'm gonna listen to the first idea first.
Cool.
Well, I'm waiting on a miracle to make you mine. Asking questions to the 8-ball in my room. Will she be here in the morning? Should I take my time? Come on, future, come and tell me what to do. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. You told me that I just keep big things real. Smoking on the back porch all night. Dad sounds sad. What do you want me to say? What do you need me to do? Maybe it's magic, babe, but I don't know what else you knew. No, I don't know what else you knew. Ooh, well, I'm waiting on a miracle to make you mine. Asking questions to the 8-ball in my room. Babe, I ain't a fortune teller, so I'll take my time. I need magic, I need something to get through.
Okay, cool. So now let's listen to the final version of Fortune Teller, and people kind of see how it escalated from there. And then we'll talk about what happened in the interim.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to pull up the next file right now. Here it is.
I don't see the point in pretending when everybody knows how I feel. My friends talk to your friends for me, and your friends say that I should get real. But I'm not giving up, and baby, you can have your space, but I can't bottle up these feelings when I see your face. Don't wanna push my luck.
right, man. Awesome. Well, that initial drum groove kind of made its way into the breakdown section. That's one thing I definitely noticed. Yeah, tell me about what happened in between that, or just even you can even tell me a little bit about that first demo, and then how things progressed.
Absolutely. So that's an idea that I actually have had since college, just been messing around with, and as is the case with a lot of our ideas in Nearly York, something about the initial demo is what the guys and I like, and there's a couple synths in this first idea and that drum groove that wind up making their way to the final version, as well as that what kind of became like the pre-chorus in the beginning, the da 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 da, that part.
Right.
And the songwriting process for me, as I said, lyrics aren't usually the first thing I go to. I really attach myself to melody really quick. So I'll just mush mouth. And what you were listening to was not written down lyrics for the most part. It was me mush mouthing maybe this is where the melody could go. And I'm just singing, not really anything. And then the guys will be like, yes, let's work on that one. I think that idea has potential, or no, this idea sat around for a long time. And it was actually a co-write in Nashville that finished the lyrics, or helped to get the lyrics to the finish line with my good friends Brian Ray, who's the singer in that country song, the Apple Hot 100 one, and then Benny James. And that was a co-writing session. I had asked the band if they were all right if I brought the song into them, because I really was enjoying writing with those guys. And so between all of us, the guys in my band and the co-writers, we were able to get kind of the structure of the song figured out. And then the production is just what things we like about this original idea, what things need to sound different, and then going back and forth for weeks in this room until we decide that it feels right. One of the last things to change in that final version in the chorus, the guitars, everybody says, the guitars do that, bum, da, 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 like they're hits. Da, 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 instead of what they used to be, which is just droning all the way through playing the chords. So it's a lot of these tiny things that seem like small moves, but in the end, that made space so that the hits felt bigger and it didn't just feel like a wall of sound. I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but hopefully
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. Yeah, and you guys have on your website this whole you guys break it down even more on your website, so I think I'll put a link to that. The listeners can check it out.
That would be awesome, man.
Yeah, that was super cool that you did that. You did my segment. You did the sauce before the sauce was made.
We subscribe to and follow the teachings of this company called Indepreneur that we discovered. Actually, somebody I went to college with is one of their main guys now, as far as marketing and just one of the main faces of the company. But what they do is they teach marketing strategies and techniques for independent musicians like us to reach bigger audiences, how to run ads on Facebook and Instagram, how to actually connect with people, not just pay us to run a Spotify promotion and then you'll never hear from us again. They want to teach you to do it yourself and to do it the right way. And one of the things that was part of this album launch experience that they teach you how to do, where you bring people in that have never heard of you before, and by the end of the experience, you've generated actual real fans that are going to continue to engage. And so, having this big album launch, it's not just the songs, it's the story behind them and picking them apart, all this stuff. That's what that page and the other pages for the other songs came from.
That's amazing. Yeah. And that really paid off.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a really fun experience. Time consuming, but it feels even better when you release a song, because you remember a bunch of things you forgot while you were making it,
Yeah, I guess the story of the creation is just almost as important as the creation itself.
It can be, absolutely.
I'm joshing at myself, but yeah, no, I totally hear that. That makes a lot of sense. Wait, so tell me a little bit about the sounds. I love the way the guitars sound and the drums. What's I don't know, anything interesting?
So